Styrofoam as thermal insulation for buildings is so popular that builders know very little about other material techniques for insulating exterior walls. Of course, Styrofoam has many advantages. It is a relatively inexpensive product that easily allows you to achieve the wall insulation required by the authorities for obtaining a building permit. The popularity of this material is also due to the fact that there are many companies on the market specializing in its application on facades. So, however, the insulation made from Styrofoam also has disadvantages. This product is subject to an oxidation and weathering process that takes several years. This means that its structure is no longer coherent, or, even more clearly, it loses its density. During this process, microscopic pores form in the Styrofoam panels. These then absorb moisture from the air, and water is known to be an energy conductor, so damp thermal insulation can no longer perform its task effectively. It was studied that after 2 years, a Styrofoam facade becomes so saturated with water that its insulation performance decreases by 50%. That's not all, because ideal conditions for microorganisms develop in a damp Styrofoam layer. Thanks to the water, they settle quickly. It doesn't matter what type of traditional plaster structure covers the Styrofoam layer, whether acrylic or the newer types, silicone or silicate. Moist air can always penetrate the insulation, as it affects it from both outside and inside. As is well known, the openness of brick partition walls contributes to this phenomenon. Water vapor penetrates along with air through such partition walls, namely from the inside of the building towards outside. If the Styrofoam is already weathered and has pores, water vapor begins to accumulate and condense as soon as the dew point is exceeded. Why does this phenomenon occur at all? Why does it occur? It always occurs when there is a certain pressure difference between the enclosed space and the environment. More precisely, the pressure inside the house is always higher than outside, so the air and the water vapor contained in it push from the inside against the walls. The same applies to the wind, which always moves from a high atmospheric pressure area to a low pressure area. Blows. Thermal insulation that is not subject to the above-mentioned processes and can even be applied more easily to the walls of a building is the mineral coating NZT cover. Firstly, it does not require a carrier layer and is therefore mechanically much more resistant compared to plastered straw cork boards or mineral wool. This means it is not easily dented, cracked, or torn. A layer of the NZT cover mineral coating means 3.6 degrees more in the house. That is the same insulation performance as an 8 cm thick layer of Styrofoam board. But that's not all. The NZT cover layer can also be used on the walls inside the building. It then retains about 50% more heat in the building. This results in significantly lower heating costs. Refining the facade of a building with a mineral coating has another very desirable effect. The reflective particles in the coating prevent the surface from heating up due to UV radiation. In summer, the interior of the building remains cooler even during strong heat waves. This, in turn, significantly reduces the air conditioning costs of the building. The physical and chemical properties of this mineral coating can be recognized with the naked eye. Looking at the facade of a building coated with NZT cover gives the impression of a thin layer of smooth glass. Not only does it look aesthetically pleasing, but it also protects wall surfaces from biological dirt and dust, which can be easily washed away by every rain shower or removed by oneself, including graffiti drawings that are difficult to remove otherwise. Speaking of the aesthetics of such a coating, it is also noteworthy that it is resistant to carbon dioxide. This means that the color of the facade does not fade. We have applied the NZT cover technology to the following governmental buildings in Austria: the Parliament of the Republic of Austria, the Federal Chancellery, the Ministry of Women, the State Archive. With NZT cover, we have also carried out thermal modernization of commercial buildings. Mercedes Neubauer and VW Lamer in Vienna, as well as hotels, Forellenhof in Eintjesselhof, Flachau, Alpina in Rauris, Edelweiss in Grossaal, or Brunnenhof in Wagrain. Cover protective paint is patented and certified by Magistrate 39, HFA Research Institute for Wood Protection, OFI Research Institute for Building Products, and OBI, Austrian Building Protection Institute. The price for a pack of NZT cover is €390. You cover 60 square meters of plastered wall or 80 square meters of smooth wall with it.